Hey guys, Voltron here, and I know that how me starting like small forwards was a bit crazy and out of whack a bit, but just go along with it. I mean, again, I know it's weird and all that, but that was just the easiest one that I knew. And by the way, I like to thank a YouTuber that inspired me on this set of videos, and I know my list is almost identical to his, except he put Kevin Durant as second, was Mike Karizba, whatever. It's kind of weird. Karizba, maybe? Or Karimsba. Something like that. But he's probably my favorite person that has like a basketball channel, or just channel in general, out of anyone else on YouTube. Personally, I think I kind of like him better than mine. He puts a lot of time into that stuff, and also I'm a fan of the Thunder too, as well as the Minnesota Timberwolves, and of course Charlotte Hornets, because they're my home state. But anyway, I like to talk about the top 5 point guards currently in the NBA, but not really top 5. I do have a couple of I don't know, kind of like weird additions. But number 1, I like to say the obvious one, I think, or what a lot of people think is obvious, is Steph Curry. And Steph Curry, because, I mean, even though he did score 30 points per game, and that's more of a shooting guard attribute, is high scoring, he also had 7 assists. And I mean, the whole 4 or 5 rebounds per game is also something. But I mean, yeah, 7 assists, that kind of shows you, and he was a very precise passer. And so yeah, that's basically it there. Second, also an obvious pick, Russell Westbrook. He's the most physical point guard in the league currently, maybe by the end of his career ever. Who knows? He's great. He's a very physical offense and defense kind of guy. He can even hit 3-pointers if he wants to. And I see him as next year's MVP. That's me, since Curry and Durant and Draymond and Klay Thompson, all 4 of those guys being on my list, on all my lists by the way, are going to be there. So yeah, are going to be on the same team and going to share stats. Just a second. Alright, and along with that, so Russell Westbrook. Third overall, Chris Paul. I mean, I was debating between number 3 or 4, and I finally decided, I might as well put Chris Paul, especially with his resume. And Chris Paul, he might be the best passing point guard in the league. Maybe the best passer in the league. I have no idea. But he's a very great passer. He's a great 3-point shooter. Great offense. And honestly, not the most solid defense, but still great offense. And he can really command the floor, which is one of the keys for a point guard. Also, that's something that Russell Westbrook has that is pretty strong. Now, 4th spot, I had to debate a lot if... Now, I know I said, should I put 3 or 4? But 3, 4, 5, and even 6, 7, 8. I was thinking, okay, who should I actually put in the list? But I decided I would put Damian Lillard there. And Damian Lillard, the first person since Michael Jordan to be in every single All-Star event in a single year. And I mean, and it's actually increased since then, because I think they only had 3 back then, and now they have 5. So that's something. But this guy is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. He's a nice leader for the Portland Trail Blazers. I mean, and they were the 5th seed and went to the second round of the playoffs, and they lost against Golden State. But then again, that is the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. And if you look at their team, it was really... just look at their team. Damian Lillard at the point. C.J. McCollum was also there at shooting guard. He was a nice compliment, but no one else besides them, really. No offense, other guys on Trailblazers. The only one I really know, I think, is Noah Vonleh. He was drafted by the Hornets a couple of years ago. And so, yeah. And then 5th, again, I was debating a lot, and I think there are going to be some people that, if they watch my show and, I don't know, disagree, is John Wall for the Washington Wizards. John Wall came out of Kentucky, very strong force. I believe he was Rookie of the Year. I have no idea. But I believe he was the first overall pick. And he also, this is just kind of random factoid, but he holds the record for number of assists in the Rising Stars Challenge game, which is one of the newer ones that Michael Jordan didn't have. But yeah, so John Wall, I mean, he's a very good passer. He's just a good overall player. And again, same thing. There's no one on that Washington Wizards team. I know they didn't make the playoffs, but there's really no one else besides him on there. And now I like to talk about 6, 7, and 8, and possibly why I didn't choose them, or at least some of the players I didn't choose to be on this list. Eric Bledsoe, Kemba Walker. Who's the other one? I'm trying to think. Whatever. I think those are 6 and 7. Was Eric Bledsoe at 6, Kemba Walker at 7. I know I'm forgetting about someone, but so Eric Bledsoe, he's really turned into something in this league. In case you didn't know, he was John Wall's backup at Kentucky. Excuse me. And then in the NBA for a while, he backed up Chris Paul. I mean, then again, if you look at it, it was kind of worth it because now he's one of the elite point guards of the league. And even though he's not on a so great Suns roster, or a so great team, the Phoenix Suns now, they still have players that are going to be pretty good in my opinion in the league. They'll be very good role players. I think Devin Booker will be a really good shooting guard later in this league. Maybe a top 10 shooting guard. TJ Warren at small forward out of NC State. That's where my brother is going to go to college. And where my parents went. And that's really all I know from the Suns. Or maybe Miles Plumlee. Yeah, I think he's on the Suns. But either way, yeah, he's a nice player. And then Kemba Walker, he completely changed the Hornets franchise for a while. He turned them into a playoff team year after year. I believe it's 3 years in a row now that they've been in the playoffs. I know they lost Big Al in their free agency, and I personally like their choice in the draft, but a lot of people are accusing them. But Malachi Richardson, 34 or 3% from three-point line, from the college line, and that was what actually was known as his best quality. I would rather have Marco Bellinelli, even though he's 31 or 32. And then losing Big Al and Jeremy Lin. I don't know. But I honestly don't think they'll make the playoffs this year. But I think they're still a very good team, and he changed that team. At least for the coming up decade and maybe farther. Alright. That's my spiel, and Saba!